Oh wow, that's great. Oh, you've got it in a lot of different focuses. Oh, clever. That's great. So it's likely that you'll stop just being a sort of...
Sorry?
It's likely that you'll stop being just a sort of...
I enjoy it. I'm not sure. Eventually what will happen is we'll go and work elsewhere and we'll go work for ITM.
Yeah.
Cameraman, things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask you to start off by, if you can just tell me both your first and second name and your position at Freedom Brewery, and if you could spell both your names so we can put a thing on.
Sure, okay. Do you want me to tell you?
You say who you are.
Okay.
Okay, off you go.
Hi, my name's Ewan Eastham. I'm the brewery manager at the Freedom Brewery Company. You spell my name EWAN EASTHAM.
That's great. Okay, well, obviously, quite a critical time for you now. You've been building up to this. How long has it? How do you go about starting a brewery in London? I mean, I know that you took over. If you can sort of tell us the story, I know it was an old dairy.
Yeah.
How long has it taken to get all this?
I think I saw the building probably in March or April of last year, and the fortunate thing about the building was that it didn't need any planning permission, so it didn't need change of use to open a brewery. So that was a good start. we needed a license to brew, which is sitting on the wall there. And so armed with those two things, once I'd contacted my brewmaster, Alistair Hook, we really had the main ingredients for setting up the brewery. We actually started paying rent on the building at the beginning of December, and the vessels were refurbished and delivered to the brewery in January. So therefore we've moved quite quickly, really, considering we've only been in the building 3.5 months. And we've got the product.
So what do you think it says about the local economy here that dairies are going out of businesses and breweries are starting out?
Well, strangely enough, they're not, because they're not next door. The land we're on is actually still owned by the co-op, so but hopefully it does say something about the area. Certainly, the beer industry is worth £13 billion a year in this country. It's the largest retail market in the country. So
what made you think that you could tap into it? Why does London or Fulham?
well, I think there's quite a large amount of people in this country that believe that there's very little good lager brewed in this country. It's been largely controlled by the big six brewers, and lager has possibly not always been as good as it might be. And compared to the care that the Bavarians take to brew their beer, and the sort of love and attention, and I thought that there was a gap in the market, that we import an awful lot of beer into this country, and there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to brew it as well, or if not better, than the imported beers. And so I live in Fulham, and I wanted something close by, and I think to have something just between Kings Road and Fulham Road, very central London. My doorstep market is Kings Road, Fulham Road, and going on Soho, Freedom Cafe Bar, and some of my shareholders in the city, so the city also. So I've really it's a very good doorstep market.
So what sort of animal is the freedom drinking person going to be? Is it going to be this sort of yuppie type Kings Road, or what sort of person do you think?
I would imagine it's someone that appreciates quality, someone, quite fashionable, someone that appreciates the design of it, that would drink a similar product now, but realises that ours is a locally produced, fresh product, because one of the emphases on it is that it's freshly brewed. It isn't pasteurised, and it's only been gently filtered, so it has a very nice, bright, fresh flavour to it. And someone that can appreciate that because it's locally brewed, and the sort of immediate product identity from the fact that it's brewed just around the corner, and but that it's right, it's as good, it's better than most of the products on the market.
Well, people go to all sorts of lengths to try and sell beer, and you stick fruit in it and all sorts of gimmicks. Why freedom? What made you? I mean, I know that it's a sort of, it's a bit of an international beer. The hops come from America. The grain comes from England, and the yeast comes from Bavaria. Why freedom?
Freedom's a word of the 90s, and it's a great philosophy. It's probably the most single English important word. It's a good old name. It doesn't emulate any of the sort of 1970s Hofmeisters or pastiches of German beers. It steps out on its own and says something new, and yet it's a traditional product with an innovative idea, to set up in central London. We are the first microbrewery in the United Kingdom to do what we're doing. There's no other microbrewery that has set out to brew a top quality Pilsner lager and put it in bottles. So it's a new break, and I think it's sort of, I didn't want to emulate the old names, really.
So what's a bottle of Freedom going to retail for, and how many are you going to have to sell break even?
It'd probably retail. It's comparable with all the other premium lagers, basically. It'll be about the same price as a bottle of Budvar. Its wholesale price is similar, possibly slightly more expensive, but only pence. So it's comparable. We don't have to sell an awful lot of beer to break even, and we don't produce an awful lot. So therefore, if there's enormous demand, we might have problems supplying. But we've probably got to sell about 3,000 or 4,000 bottles a week, and that's what we're producing at the moment. So that's not a great deal of beer. We've got to keep the quality up.
What else can I ask you? What's with the anteater? I mean, is this the company mascot? Why didn't you decide to call it anteater? It's not an anteater, is it?
It's an armadillo, stuffed armadillo from Argentina, and he came over with me from Argentina back to England one day, and he's been knocking around the brewery ever since. So an old favourite. I think he looks rather thirsty at the moment. So give him his evening tipple.
What have I missed about this moment?
Building area.
Just as a dairy. I mean, did you have any objection from local people?
Not yet. Not yet. People say that breweries smell. We actually give, there's very little smell. It's quite a fresh smell of boiling hops and malt. It's quite pleasant. But there isn't, certainly we've not had any objections yet. We've only done our first few brews, but we've not had any objection yet. Might be relevant to say that the spent malt, after you've used the malt, is collected by a pig farmer, and it's taken away to feed his pigs. So we're quite environmentally sound in the centre of Fulham. We haven't thought of opening our own pig farm yet.
So when's the big launch? I mean, and are you going to have a physical brewery?
Well, my friends are very worried that I can't organise one, but I think I've probably got something in store for them. Yeah, the launch date is the 6th of April, and it should be a fairly good bet. I've got a fair few bottles in store for that day. So it should be quite good.
Let me just check that you're sensitive. I need to get to waste pretend that you're
Yeah.
that you're making a call.
Sure.
What else would you establish you as being the person?
In charge,
So,
with a beer in his hand, the highly responsible owner of the brewery.
okay, we're done.
than anyone else. What's your opinion? How does it measure up?
Well, you know, most British lagers don't taste of malt, which is what beer is made from, and most British lagers don't taste of hops, which is what beer is seasoned with. I think that's one thing that anyone who enjoys lager, who's enjoyed the great lagers of Bavaria or Bohemia, would be looking for in a true lager beer. With this you get a wonderfully delicate malty aroma. It really is malt accented. I get the malt more than the hop. I get the malt in the aroma. And in the flavour. It's got a very light, very, very delicate malty sweetness. It's light, it's delicate, it's soft, it's malty. Very much malt accented rather than hop accented. But the hops do come through to some extent in the finish, at the very end of the beer. Just when you think it's gone away, there's this light touch of delicate hoppy dryness, which is probably just enough to make you want another one. A little bit of dryness on the tongue, which makes you want to have another swallow.
So how does it compare to what will be its competitors, something like a Budweiser or a Beck's beer? I mean, is it miles ahead of that?
Well, in my view, there's no contest. I mean, but then I would never really drink an American Budweiser. I would certainly drink a Czech Budweiser Budvar. I wouldn't really drink a Beck's. I mean, Beck's is all right, but it's really just another beer. It's a sort of okay German beer, but nothing special. In being a little bit critical of American Budweiser, I must say that there are some very interesting beers from America, but Budweiser is not one of them. I mean, Anchor Steam or Anchor Liberty or Brooklyn or something like that. Those are very interesting beers. And I think there's really, well, it has been for a long time among drinkers of ales, there has been for a long time quite a discernment. You know, people go out there and look for something based on taste. But for a long time, the drinker of lager has just gone out there and looked for a brand name. But I think that is now changing. In the White Horse in Parsons Green, where we are at the moment, you could get an interesting American lager like Brooklyn Lager. You could get an original Czech lager like Stara Pramen or Budweiser Budvar. And those are the lagers that Freedom is going to be competing with. I think it's very well set to compete with them. It's a very drinkable. It's got lots of flavour and drinkability, and often people feel that if a beer's got a lot of flavour, somehow they can't really drink as much of it. And that's not really true. I mean, it's a characteristic of the classic Bohemian and Bavarian lagers that they're full of flavour, but they're also very drinkable, and sometimes rather perilously so. You can find yourself just hanging out drinking beer and realise you drink rather a lot of it. I could drink quite a lot of this one, I think.
So how do you think Freedom beer will fare? Do you think it will be a success? Can small breweries succeed? This is the world's first micro. Will it work?
Well, there have been many microbreweries in London over the years making ales. And in the matter of ale brewing, and by ales I really mean ales like bitter, I mean most of them like bitter rather than other types of ale. The micro movement has been very successful with ale drinkers. The question is whether it can be successful with lager drinkers. And that's not really, I don't think the quality of this beer is really at issue, and the quality of this beer is excellent. The question is whether lager drinkers, who sometimes seem to think that a beer has to come from some distant land, or possibly pretend to come from some distant land, because a lot of so-called foreign lagers are actually being made under license in Britain. A lot of lager drinkers seem to think that a lager beer has to come from Germany or Denmark, which are famous lager brewing countries, or Australia or Canada or Japan, which are. it would be jolly good if lager drinkers could realise that whether it's ale or lager or stout or whatever it is, the best beer is the freshest beer. And the freshest beer is the one that's brewed nearest to where you're drinking it. And if you have somebody come along in London, and right here in London make an absolute first-class lager that you can drink fresh, then that's a much, much better buy than a lager that probably wasn't so good in the first place. It's been shipped halfway across the world. The question is whether drinkers can really recognise it, whether they can recognise that small is beautiful, local is often best, and that this is a better quality lager than many of the lagers that are being fetched from much farther afield. I hope they will recognise it, because I'd like to see Freedom Brewing succeed. It's a great thrill to be able to drink a locally made beer. And of course, drinking it in the White Horse, we're actually drinking it a matter of about 100 yards from where the brew kettle and the lagering vessels are. Cheers.
Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome.
Tell me when you're rolling. Yep. Do you want me to mention my brewery or just chairman of the small brewers? Yeah, okay. Okay, fine. Yeah, sure. My name is Dave Roberts. I'm chairman of the Small Independent Brewers Association. It's an association that represents the new wave brewers that have come into the English market over the last...
What are your feelings?
The national brewers, or the companies that have become national brewers, have unwittingly raped the industry. They have taken the real values, the tradition, the culture of the industry, and they've sold it. It's been spent. It's lost. And we as small brewers are trying to recreate that. If you go to Germany, you can see that culture in action. You can see brewers integrated with their local towns. People have pride in their products. So not only is it a loss in terms of quality of product and a loss to the consumer, we have lost a complete industry. And the saddest thing of all to me is that the people who work for the national companies really don't know where it's gone wrong. I meet people time after time after time who look around and say, well, why is everybody blaming us? And that to me is a huge tragedy. People who've put their lives into national companies and are now realising they're lost as well as the industry.
They tweaked it up a bit.
Well, they swore they're going to dry hop. They said, oh, we don't dry hop, we don't dry hop. That's it. It's an IPA. We need a hop quality.
They did dry hop it because...
They did eventually. Are the recent ones dry hop?
I don't know. I kept one cask for 3 months in our kitchen at Halmer Road. And that's
great. That often doesn't happen. I get stuff occasionally from Fuller's and I keep it, and it goes absolutely nowhere. because the condition has been so ripped out of the brewery. The one says, you know, but it's supposed to be condition that's none. And you know, when old Mark there was old Mark going into, he used to dry hop his bats before he inside. And everyone suddenly saying, wow, this is